Alrighty, your boys Zxous, so we're back with another Goddess of Victory Nikke video. In today's video, we're going to be ranking the Burst 3 tier list of obviously not new characters but old characters, Guillotine, Selena, and Brid, because they were 3 characters that did get a buff. Now we did obviously already do this for the Burst 1 with Mary and Miranda, I guess you could say, but Miranda, like, this is focused more on the buffed characters. Miranda doesn't really get like a major buff, so her tier was like still the same. But yeah, we are going to move some characters around because obviously a lot of these characters have gotten better. So I'm going to open up Guillotine's rank, I'm going to open up Brid's, and I'm going to open up Selena. Where is Brid? Here's Brid and Selena. Oh, did they I guess they upgraded her tier, thankfully. They upgraded her tier. So, okay, let's start off with Guillotine since she's the newest buff. So obviously Guillotine is a character who kind of got like a minor buff. It was quite good actually, right? So before, when she landed 100 normal attacks, she would get her crit rate increase and lose HP. Her losing HP makes sense when you get to her second skill, but the buff went from landing 100 normal attacks to 30 normal attacks, right? Making it very efficient since she is a machine gun user, basically meaning you're guaranteed always going to have the crit rate when you're attacking. Even if you're reloading, you're still always going to guaranteed have the crit rate because it takes less than 2 seconds, probably less than a second to get 30 shots off, right? So definitely remember to keep that all in mind. Now her second skill, after you land 150 normal attacks, her crit rate increases, not by like a massive jump, but only by like 0.3%. It went from 14.46% to 14.49% for 5 seconds, right? But the big buff comes from that second part of the second skill, where the attack buff went from 0.20% all the way to 0.96%, which is almost 1%. So essentially 0.96% with every 1% of HP loss. So essentially, if you rounded it up, basically it would be 1% HP or 1% attack for every 1% HP that you have lost, which is quite good. Right, which is quite good because obviously, let's say she loses 90% HP, she gets a free 90% attack buff, right? Or at least closer to like 89, 88%, right? And this is pretty good because when her HP falls below 50%, her numbers actually double, and that's quite good because she already hits quite hard there. Now, my only thing with Guillotine is the simple fact that in general, it's going to take quite long for her, at least some time for her to, you know, get her HP down, and I don't think Guillotine is doing all that much damage unless she has, like, she's using her burst skill. So I think I'll move Guillotine up 1 tier, but like low A, right? Because it's still a very good buff, but it's actually now definitely a usable option. But the problem is, for me, her burst skill is where all her damage is coming from, which isn't a problem. But even still, she gets stronger the less HP she has, and obviously in a general sense that's not good, right? In PvE, you don't want them to have the less HP because that could hurt you. If she ends up dying, then boom, and it's not even going to be the enemy's fault. Well, it is, but it's partially going to be her fault as well. So I think Guillotine is a good character now, right? A usable one. I think I'll give her the high A or the low A tier, or high B tier still, but we can give her low A. Right? Selena. Now, Selena is a character who got 1 buff, right? And that is that her crit rate, this is all she got. Her crit rate went from like 2% all the way to 21.62%. And then her crit damage went from 13% to 62.27%. So you could kind of see why that's a big amount. Now, the only problem with this is that she only gets this when she's at max HP. All right, when she's at max HP. Now, once you lose 1 HP, everything goes down the drain. So for her, you're kind of forced to bring a healer because she has no way of healing herself, right? She has no way of healing herself. But since it is a team-based game, and I think you're always going to want to bring a healer, I'm going to give her like that low S tier. I think she is definitely still one of the hardest hitting characters in the game now with this type of buff, right? From 21% crit rate and then having that 62% crit damage from herself. And then she also can increase her attack speed, where, remember, you have this permanently when your HP is full. So they're getting all this extra stuff when you're shooting as well, right? Which is quite good. But then when you're at full HP, you get the additional 924%. Very, very good. And Brid, they really just buffed up her skills slightly. I think, honestly, I mean, we could talk about it, right? So I don't remember what the numbers were before, but this got increased to 18.52%. The second skill got increased to 211.2%, and then the burst skill got upgraded. I don't think the burst skill got upgraded. No, it did. It got upgraded to 1,440% of an attack. Now the problem is I don't remember the initial numbers, right? Because I didn't think that they would like revert it back, but they did. Now, Brid is still a very good character, right? I think her tier is fine, right? We could like lower her a bit. I mean, not really. We could keep her where she is, right? I think she's a fine character. I think her and Guillotine would be on the same level overall, because Guillotine is still doing a lot of damage. Like I said, the problem is just her HP. Brid just got a slight buff, and she was already a decent DPS, right? So definitely keep that in mind. Lost track of where I was, of course, but basically Brid isn't that great as a character. I mean, she's good, but a decent DPS. Would I recommend to start off with her? No, but as a not sub DF, because she's a main DPS at the end of the day. It's just her buffs weren't that big, so it's not really anything changing. It's kind of like Miranda. Her buffs weren't that big where she became like, oh god level, like Selena or Guillotine. Oh god, Guillotine got better, but it still like kind of hurts her that she has to lose HP for it. Selena really got a massive buff, but Brid, her numbers just went up by like maybe like 2 to 5% per skill, I think. So overall, I think. Would I move anybody down? Like maybe Crow. No, I'm sorry, Crow. Just maybe you. And then I think I'll keep it like that, right? Guillotine is gonna be very good in PvP as well. If you okay, it will be very good. It's a RNG type thing. But if you could get Guillotine's HP very low in PvP, which is very simple, and she could burst, she might get she will kill off somebody. Guaranteed, right? Especially if you're getting her HP very low. And with somebody like Blanc, I feel like in PvP, the healing from Blanc is not going to be enough to keep her up at full the whole time. You're actually going to just be able to stay in that indomitability state, most likely. So it's very RNG, but it could work, right? It could work. But yeah, I mean, I don't like Brid higher than Guillotine, bro. I'm sorry. We're going to do this. Like, this is not ranked. Maybe I have to rank this, but this is not ranked. It's fine, whatever. But yeah, I think this is going to be the Burst 3 buffed tier list, right? Based on the characters who received a buff. Selena is definitely going to be low S tier. I mean, probably high. I mean, I think she's still hitting harder than most of these characters, right? We thought it was a bug, but it was a buff, right? I mean, we knew it was a buff, but we thought the buff was bugged, but it's just legit. So let me know if you agree. It's your boy Zxous. I'm out. Peace.